More than any time. I'm still waiting for this thing to start. I don't do it. So, I was worried about locking the room. If that's the question. You don't like it, so you not. Yeah. You just make up your mind.
You can post your jobs automatically to NAIS, MBOA, and any other career centers within that network. So you do a one post and it goes to at least 3 career centers, which is really important when you're posting lots of jobs, as many of your HR professionals are going to be doing likely in the next month or so. And then the other thing is offer the opportunity to have enhanced job listings. So you can be a featured job on the Career Center, you can put additional information, you can do all of those things for an additional price. But again, you get the opportunity to be a part of the Career Center, post your jobs for free for no additional cost if that's what you'd like to do. The other sort of interesting and really important thing that we do annually is the PAISBOA annual data survey. And this is a benchmarking tool for operational and compensation data. So we have a pretty comprehensive and substantive operational survey that covers everything from admission to enrollment to debt to financing to benefits, all of the things that business officers find really helpful and important. And the really great thing about the PAISBOA data is it's regional. So it's meaningful to you. You're not necessarily benchmarking against schools in, you know, Missouri or California or Florida, where their culture and their, you know, quite frankly, some of their disaster issues from what we experience, that it's not meaningful. And then the other part of that is the compensation data. For you to, somebody's not on mute. Thank you. The compensation data is really useful in that you can benchmark yourselves against a number of schools that you compete with for faculty and staff and administration, or just local schools that are like you, or you know, any other combination. But it's a great opportunity to make sure that, you know, you're keeping up with what the benchmarks are for salary. And then finally, I'll talk a little bit about all the professional development that we're offering at PAISBOA. And we have annual meetings every year for the business insurance group and for the Purchasing Consortium, and then for the entire association. And all of those annual meetings are to give you sort of a state of the state of those individual programs, but it also comes along with some pretty robust professional development for you regarding those types of issues. So the business insurance annual meeting will have an insurance issue that is on people's minds. We'll get a speaker in. So this year we had one on safety and security. Last year it was on sexual abuse. So depending on what the concern of the year is, that will be the professional development for our annual meeting. And the same goes for the Purchasing Consortium and for our own annual meeting. Last year, we focused a little bit on how healthy was your school at our annual meeting, and also on financing and making sure that you have an opportunity to have some time to talk with each other as professionals. Over the course of the year, we have a number of continuing education events and webinars monthly. Our plant managers, our HR folks, our technology directors, our sustainability people meet about every other month. And then sprinkled in with all of that, we have meetings that we have for business officers and for other combinations of things based on what you're interested in talking about and receiving continuing education on. And along those lines, we are able to offer CPE credits for CPAs and SHRM credits for HR professionals. And Sarah Evans is looking into HRCI credits as well for HR professionals. So we should be able to offer them probably within the next few months. PAISBOA also provides a lot of resources through the website, and you can click on our website to find any number of resources that you need. We have legal advice and best practices from Fisher & Phillips. You can log into their website. You can call Fisher & Phillips to discuss issues that you're having. The first phone call's for free, as they say, and then if it becomes a more complicated or complex conversation, you will likely receive a bill for their services, but they'll be upfront about when that tap turns on, if you will. We do retirement planning and services with our partners at Carroll Consultants. We are in the process of discussing a multiple employer plan for retirement services compliance and fiduciary compliance for schools. And so you'll notice that you had a few questions about that on your renewal form. We're trying to gauge interest and need for that right now. And then there's our listserv discussion groups, which are very robust and where we get a lot of our ideas for professional development. So if you've got a question that you want to put out there to other schools, or have schools take a short survey about something, by all means use our listserv discussion groups. They are very robust, and everybody plays along. I've noticed that a lot of our business officers and all of our professionals related to the business office are always happy to weigh in and give you their information. So it really is a very collegial community, and one that I'm very proud to be a part of. Does anybody have any questions about just the overall membership benefits before I turn it over to Rachel? Okay. Is that someone who wanted to ask a question? Okay, if not, if you could just continue to mute yourselves, that would be great. So I'm going to turn it over to Rachel and let her talk a little bit about our consortia.
Thank you, Aggie, and good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for popping on this call. I'm sure this week is a busy one as you get back from break and everyone is filling your email. We seem to have a little bit of an echo with the audio, so just stay with us while we continue to tease out the technology. I'm delighted to be a part of PAISBOA as a consortium manager. My responsibility
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
I think we lost everybody.
I think we lost I think I lost everything. I don't hear a thing.
I don't hear a thing either.
I don't know if we should hang up and try again.
No, stay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, so there are some great opportunities, nearly 40 vendors that we're working with. You can find very easily on our website a directory. If you go to the Purchasing Consortium arm of the webpage, you can find the directory of the vendors and the contact information. And we do encourage you to do that. The idea of group purchasing is really very straightforward. It's designed to save you time and money. It's really a lot of what PAISBOA is trying to do. We know your time is very precious. So it's designed to save you time and money. We have a steering committee that reviews and vets all our vendors. We keep an eye on comments on the listserv and calls and emails that are sent directly to us about our vendors regarding customer service. Also, other opportunities that we may want to explore services. We work very hard as well to maintain good relationships with the professionals that are working with our goods and services, those sales representatives. Talking to them all the time about the type of goods that are important for our schools and services that we need to provide. I'd like to, at this time, actually invite Adam to join the call, to unmute himself. And Adam, if you could speak a little bit about how you have used the group purchasing for PAISBOA for your school.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hoping he's
Okay, great.
on the call.
So what I'd basically say is that one of the major benefits that Shipley is.
Can anyone, Adam, it looks like you're talking and I can't hear you. Shoot.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yep, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Who's on the phone?
I'm calling from, I'm Angela Assumpta Academy.
Hey, Adam, it's Bob from Shipley. I hear you. I think they're having an issue with the system.
With the audio?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at the live screen. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Aggie and Rachel?
Hey, Adam, this is Tom Devine. For the benefit of those on the call, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Tom. I'll hopefully they'll tag back in. So I'd say the major benefit for us, and Bob Mills, our director of physical plant, is on the call, is really around electricity consumption and how we purchase that. I think Bob was part of a small group of folks that worked with our consultants to look at electric purchasing. I think there's about 66 schools that participated. And we were able to shave over time our electric costs from around 11 cents a kilowatt back in 2010-11 down to about 8 cents a kilowatt in 18-19. And I think the real kudos goes to PAISBOA for both pulling all those 66 schools together to do some of that. And, you know, it's very hard to understand how to purchase electric. There's a lot of components that go into it, everything from distribution, transmission, capacity, and this allows you to not have to be an expert in the field every year or every couple of years to go out and do this type of purchasing, and really rely on the expertise of the group who stays involved in this almost daily. An added benefit this year was a green energy component where about 20 schools got together and wanted to go out and buy renewable energy credits, and PAISBOA really jumped on this rather quickly and allowed this group of schools to, for a very nominal fee, be able to say they were either 50% or 100% renewable energy. So it was an incredible benefit. And not only the cost savings, but the time savings alone was worth every penny. So Aggie and Rachel, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me now, but we kind of kept plugging forward. Can you give me a thumbs up if you heard me?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, and I can hear you fine now.
Okay, good. Perfect. Perfect. No, we did hear you. Thank you
Okay.
so much for that comprehensive summary. There are some terrific opportunities. Part of group purchasing is, I do feel like, is an element of faith and comfort in the organization and the steering committee that's pulling these ideas together. and doing these shared purchasing. When you had referenced some of the energy purchasing, I think that's an excellent example. And we've actually just in the last week and a half talked to a couple schools about joining in on that. Those schools that are interested in the energy purchasing program, there are opportunities to join that, although the year has begun. So I would ask you please just to reach out to me or Ron Hill, and we can connect you with the professionals that are engaged in that program. There's no question that can absolutely help you with savings, but particularly as Adam referenced, energy purchasing is quite complicated. I'm dipping my toe into trying to understand it as best I can. And the good news is through the auspices of PAISBOA, we have some terrific consultants that help us with that and navigate all of that. We also, I want to put a plug in here for our annual meeting that's coming up for the Purchasing Consortium. It's on Wednesday, January 23rd. Invitations will continue to go out to encourage you to join that. The annual meeting is a great opportunity to meet directly with our vendor representatives. Even the vendors that you've worked with for years, you may not realize some of the other offerings that they're providing to our schools. And we do want to make sure that as a school, you're taking advantage of every savings and opportunity that's available to you out there. So the annual meeting provides that opportunity, the Friday flyer and the frequent communications. And anytime you're looking at your budget, which as business officers, I'm sure you're doing pretty regularly, and you're just scratching your head saying, I wonder if I could find some other way to save in some other avenue. I hope you won't hesitate to reach out to me and we could brainstorm together, looking at some of what your bigger expenses are or even some of your smaller expenses, and creatively work together to talk through ways we might be able to find some further savings for you. I did want to offer the opportunity. Does anyone have any questions either for myself, Aggie, or Adam that we might be able to help you with here on this call?
I will add one other thing, and Adam, I'm not sure whether you alluded to this because of the audio issue, but I think the other thing that the consortia purchasing and especially in the energy does afford you is that price stability. So you're not like paying nothing one year and getting slapped with a 25% increase the next year. You know, I think we've seen that with the health benefits as well. You know, you're not having that seesaw of, you know, one year we're doing great, the next year we're doing terrible. And I think that the consortia purchasing is a way that we can sort of stabilize those pricing increases across time. And then the other thing that I think is really important to our member schools and something that PAISBOA has really worked hard on is the whole customer service part of purchasing. You know, having a great price is great, but if you can't get the person on the phone, if you have a difficulty or a question or a concern, you know, a great price is not all that it's cracked up to be. And so I think that those two issues are also a big part of, you know, the sort of what makes sense about consortia purchasing. Adam, do you agree? Do you have some experience with that?
Aggie, I'd add that in not only for electric, which is a complicated area, but also for you know, the insurance side of things. Yeah. Even going out, you know, everyone can cherry pick a few ideas from Amazon that you could buy something cheaper than Staples. But I think, you know, on the whole, you're getting much more certainty because some folks with some expertise in areas that you may not be fully vetted are evaluating this and doing a good job of it. And it's not just one or two people, it's a group of folks with very like-minded interests to not only save money, but provide, to me, which is more important, budget certainty over a series of years to all of our schools. And we're one of probably the larger schools of PAISBOA, short of the higher ed market, and we're basically involved in every aspect of PAISBOA because of some of those reasons that you've talked about. Just again, the knowledge base of folks working on it, the budget certainty, and the ability to collaborate with a larger group of schools makes total sense, and that's why we're a major player with PAISBOA.
Yeah, and sort of along those lines, Adam, is a lot of our vendors also have design services that are free. So for example, if you're looking for flooring or carpeting with Tarkett, they have a whole design group that will help you, get the right design of your carpeting or your flooring. Same thing with some of the furniture providers. They'll help you outfit a room in a way that's not only sensible and practical, but also is attractive and pleasing to the eye. And so I think those are the kinds of things that people don't often know to take advantage of. And
I couldn't agree more. And I know we've got a larger group, or a group of newer business managers, CFOs that have come on board. And the first thing I always, if I meet with them, tell them is pick up the phone, call PAISBOA, because related to stuff that you may think you need to do on your own that they've pretty much probably already have done before for you. It's just, the benefits far outweigh anything on the expense side here, and there hasn't been an opportunity where we haven't been pleased with any of the product. And frankly, if we're not, that's what the board members are for. I'm one of those folks, and we give very good critical feedback to your group working there, so that we can improve. I think it's a nonstop cycle of us trying to get better and really provide the best for the member schools, which are really the heart of our business here.
Yeah, and the other thing that we started doing last year was the Purchasing Consortium Quarterly.
Right. So we do 4 times a year. We publish what is a robust newsletter that's going to include information, particularly about vendors who have offerings that you may not have thought of before, as Aggie was referencing, for instance, with some of the furniture suppliers like School Specialty or Staples. They offer quite a lot beyond just selling a chair. And so the quarterly highlights a lot of those. I think we'll have at least 7 different additions to that, and that will be coming out this Friday in anticipation of the annual meeting. The annual meeting is a chance to meet one-on-one with vendors, both in the hour before the program begins and also through the gold mine sessions to really learn what these vendors are offering. We understand that this is quite a lot of information. The Purchasing Consortium and the group purchasing, it's energy, so electric and gas, it's green energy, it's business insurance. We want to try to provide opportunities for you to learn about these offerings in the easiest possible way. And that's why even just on a Tuesday, although today's Wednesday, on a Wednesday, you're just wondering, you're looking at what your expenses were this past month in your operating budget and thinking, wow, there are probably a lot of different ways I might be able to save. I'd love to work with you and figure out ways we can help you and your school realize more benefits through your PAISBOA membership.
Adam, any final words of wisdom for our folks this morning?
No, I'm great here. If there's any other seasoned folks, I see Tom Devine floating up there. If anybody else has any comments, I feel free to add them. I think that the purpose is to really encourage membership and to have folks understand the benefits of what's offered. And I'm just one voice in the wind here, but I know that there are some way more knowledgeable people that are on this call that have also reap some of the benefits. So I would extend the offer to have them feel free to weigh in.
Yeah, I just had a question, Rachel. I don't know if there are others in this boat, but now that we're all members of the Purchasing Consortium just by virtue of our membership in PAISBOA, is there anything we need to do with vendors we've already bought from if we have not been members of the consortium, so that they're now reporting our sales?
Thank you very much, Tom, for that prompt. It is important that you remind the vendors that you are now a member of the Purchasing Consortium. We have shared that information with all of our vendors and are in the process of reminding them of that. And certainly when we see the monthly sales reports, we will be going back to those vendors just to be sure that they are including all our schools now and not just the members of the Purchasing Consortium. I will also share with you that our vendors were delighted with this change, because for a vendor, this gives them a greater opportunity at an audience to market their products. So they are pretty excited about this opportunity. But you're absolutely right, Tom, and that's a good reminder for us here at PAISBOA to make sure we're following up with our vendors repeatedly to be sure they're accounting for all the sales. Thank you.
And the other thing that we're now able to do, thanks to Rachel and Sarah and Ron, is that we built a database last year to track all of the sales for the Purchasing Consortium. And so we'll be sending out regular reports to all of you so that if there are discrepancies, you'll be able to say to us, hey, wait a minute, we just spent $10,000 with so-and-so. Why isn't it on here? And so we'll be able to help you manage that relationship as well. And not to be too mercenary about things, but all of the purchasing that you do with our Purchasing Consortium helps to keep your dues down for PAISBOA. So spend away, people.
Thanks very much, everyone, for being on this call. We here at PAISBOA are happy to continue to answer any other questions that you come up with as you think through this. And I know that our colleagues, Adam and Tom, other members of our board, would be happy to speak with you as well. We do want to let you get on with the rest of your day. I'm sure it's a busy one. And we thank you very much for taking the time this morning. Have a great morning.
Thanks, Aggie. Thanks, Rachel.